Hello, future Henry County Wildcats. I'm Principal Sagasser here at Henry County High School, and I can't wait to see you all walking up and down the hallways of our fantastic school. One of the things that we're most proud of is our Career Technical Education program. And over the next few minutes, you're going to take a little bit of insight and in-depth look into the process that we offer. Over the next 4 years, you're going to experience all kinds of wonderful things. That's our goal, that when you graduate, you'll be able to go out and get a high demand, high wage job. Can't wait to see you here. We are Henry County.
I am Mr. Shearer. I am the engineering teacher here at Henry County. My classes are engineering by design. So we do a whole lot of design. We do some studying. We combine math, physics, and the hands-on world. And we actually do as opposed to just learn. So we make all of our education actually come to life in here. We do indeed do a lot of hands-on projects, and each one of my different levels of classes, because I go from fundamentals to level 2 to level 3 to an advanced, and then we go all the way up to architecture. Each class does something a little bit harder and harder and harder. All my classes are scaffolded, so we start small. You can see some straw towers behind me. We try to make them hold a ball as high as they can on an earthquake table. And then by the time you get to my architecture class, you're building complete model homes that we have designed in Autodesk Revit. We offer the Autodesk user certification, and Autodesk Inventor is a globally known 3D drafting program. The program as a whole, being based around math, is very difficult, but the hands-on aspect of it and getting into these certifications are a backbone. The really cool thing about my pathway is all the doors that it opens up for the future. It's very difficult to not be able to find a job using the skills from this field. I've got students that are working in CNC industries right now. I've got students that are working in the automotive industry right now, designing automotive, not turning wrenches per se, but actually designing things. And knowing the entire engineering process really allows them to go the next level in any degree that, or any future that they decide to. Being an employer outside of school, one of the things that I get to see is what I actually want my employees to know. So they've got to know communication. Communication, resiliency, and problem solving are all absolutely critical to be very successful outside of these walls. And that's my goal. I want my students to learn what it's like outside of these walls to really thrive as opposed to just get by.
I'm Luke Lyons. I'm a senior here at Henry County High School, and I've been taking Shearer's classes since freshman year. My plan after high school is to go into the construction field and, run a construction business, so his classes are pretty much perfect for that. Learning every day how to work with wood, and in his architecture class we learned the specifics of codes and concrete and just all kinds of stuff that you would definitely need for the future. It's been my favorite class in the past 4 years. And I just like coming in here every day and knowing that I could be doing something completely different from yesterday. And it's a lot of fun. I enjoy Mr. Shearer, probably is up there. Like, him teaching the class is pretty fun, but also getting to work with my hands every day, like coming in and knowing that I'll be able to make something is probably the coolest part of it. My favorite thing was whenever we did the catapults outside. That was super fun and a good challenge because of how many variables you had. Like, you could use different styles and it still would come out successful or fail. Take it serious from day one. Do not take any of the lessons that he teaches for granted, because you're going to use them the whole time you're in here, no matter if it's the last level class or the first one.
I'm Mr. Banta. I'm the business teacher here at Henry County High School. My program consists right now of 2 different pathways. The first one is administrative support, and the second one is accounting. The 5 classes that we offer right now are Business Marketing Essentials, which is essentially our introduction to business. We have Accounting 1 and Accounting 2. We have Digital Literacy, which is like our intro computer class, and then we have Microsoft Office Specialist, and you'll be able to focus more specifically on skills within the Microsoft suite, including not limited to Word, PowerPoint, Excel, and Access. The different certifications that I offer in this class are Microsoft Office Specialist certifications, so Word, PowerPoint, Excel, you could get to Access, you could get to Outlook, which is email, and once you have those certifications, that kind of lets employers know, hey, this person is really good at using computers, and it's just something else you can add to your resume to kind of separate yourself from the group. The classes kind of vary based off of which class you're in. In the Intro to Business class, Business Marketing Essentials, you'll do things like an interview project where you'll go through the whole process. You'll do some things like designing new products, packaging, different kind of leadership things. In my computer classes, it'll be more simulation-based, so we'll kind of cover, this is what the functions we're learning in Word or internet research or email, and then we'll kind of practice them that day. Accounting is more specific to just working our way through the accounting equation and the accounting process and the accounting cycle. So I think that if you go through the business pathway, obviously the focus is business specific, so you're looking at things like being a manager, being an accountant, different kind of marketing research. There's a lot of different business-specific jobs that you're looking at, but at the same time, those skills are kind of transferable to whether you want to work in media, you want to be an engineer, you want to go work in ag, you want to be in nursing. So those are transferable skills, but I would say specifically to the pathway, we're looking at managers, marketing, accountants, so on and so forth. I think about things like job acquisition with interviews, being a manager, how do you lead people? So many young people start their career in sales now, so how do I not only sell myself as a job candidate, but how do I make the sale of my product, my service? There's a lot of different things that we'll look at, integrity, ethical characteristics, but specifically how to lead. I think if you graduate from this pathway, you'll have a pretty good foundation that will set you up for success moving forward.
Hi, my name is Mason Riddle. I'm a sophomore and I've taken 4 business classes. I think they're probably going to be the most important later in life. I feel like they actually teach me things and I'm not just learning it for no reason. Sometimes the workload gets a lot, but eventually once you get it, it's very satisfying. I'm really passionate in it, and I think I'll probably pursue this as my job.
My name is Lucas Green, and I teach the media classes here at Henry County High School. So the media classes here at Henry County High School I think are really cool and really fun. There are 4 different levels with kind of a bonus class worked in there towards the end. My classes are very hands-on, and there's a wide variety of different projects you get to work on when you're going through this pathway. Now it starts out with graphic design when you're using Photoshop, making posters for the school, but also for yourself. And then we transition from Photoshop to Premiere Pro, which is the video editing software Adobe lets you have. And what's really cool is through working with both those programs, you get certified professionally with both those programs. Now those projects in the video world also vary as much as the graphic design ones. We'll start off doing simple things like making commercials and PSAs, and then all the way go to making the news program for the school. Now along the way there, you can make short films, you can make music videos, fight scenes. There's a bunch of fun different projects that I allow you guys to do in the media program. I teach media arts because all of my life I have been passionate about media. I've always thought it was fun and it was cool to express myself using these kind of things. I love movies, I love filmmaking, I love making videos for different things. I've fallen in love with photography and graphic design over the last few years, so it's been a lot of fun for me. It's something I'm very, very passionate about, and I love being able to give you guys a chance, students a chance to do these different things. I like giving you guys a chance to express yourself and to have some fun. I let you guys go out through the school. You get to use some really cool equipment. We're gonna be flying drones, making short films, doing various things like that that are super cool and super fun. Throughout the media pathway, you are gonna get a ton of different experiences that you can take outside of the school. You're gonna learn creative problem solving. You're gonna learn how to work technology, either that's computers, cameras, editing, different things like that. Media is such a big part of all of our lives and it impacts all of us. And we're gonna learn how how to create that and how to manipulate that for our own gain. In the media field, there's a wide variety of different jobs. Even in my own life, I've worked in so many different places. I started out in sports broadcast. I worked at the Olympics and various NASCAR races. I worked for a church doing their video broadcast and on their media team. And then I worked for a company that did documentaries. And I've also done photography jobs. I've done freelance. I've done a wide variety of different things. And there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with the skills that we're learning in this class.
My name is Holly Hosey. I'm a senior here at Henry County High School. I've been in the media pathway since freshman year, and I'm currently enrolled in the last media class, which is Advanced Studio Production. I think what I've enjoyed most about these classes is just the range of creativity that you can have, because with each project you get a chance to be individual and put your own kind of spin on things. Of course, your teacher is going to give you like certain rules and guidelines to go by, but you always have something that you can put in that represents yourself. I haven't had many challenges in this pathway. However, if I were to say one, I would say learning how to use the software that you're making projects on. Your teacher is there to help you from the very beginning at your introduction class to teach you how to use it, but it does take a little bit of time to learn it. If I could go back to freshman year, I would definitely take this pathway again. I've had so much fun in these classes the past 4 years, and it's even influenced my college decisions. I plan to attend college and pursue a degree in media arts. My dream job is to work in sports broadcasting and film the Super Bowl. If I could give advice to anyone entering this pathway, it would just be to have fun and use the tools that you're given. These classes give you a lot of freedom, including creative freedom. You have the opportunity to put a creative spin on any project you submit, and every time you walk into class, essentially you just grab a camera and go film.
My name is Miss Wright, and I teach the education pathway. So we have two classes right now in the education pathway. We have Education 103 and 108, and those classes are starter classes for anyone interested in maybe being a teacher one day or working anywhere in the field of education. In Education 103, we pair up with classes over at Newcastle, and so going into next year, what that'll look like, we'll have students that are in our class and they pair up with a teacher. So they'll go over, they'll do some observations, kind of get the feel for what that classroom's like. After that, they'll pair up to work with that teacher on how they can pull small groups of kids. So they'll have groups of reading and they'll have groups of math, and our students will take lessons that those teachers have put together and run them with the class. And then the goal is by the end of our class, towards the end of the semester, our students here put together their own little mini lessons and units and projects and take it over to Newcastle. So not only are they like pulling kids and working with them on math and reading skills, but they also get to have some pretty cool relationships with younger kids. That's a pretty cool mentor aspect of it. In Education 108, it's a stronger psychology focus. So they look more at how the brain works and why we think the way that we do, and kind of get more into the sociology and psychology aspect of that. And with that, we get into behavior management and why people act and think the way they do. And we have some correlating projects with that too. In terms of jobs, you get the baseline introduction to education. So that means if you decide you want to go sub in elementary classrooms, or you want to go be a teacher's assistant, this is already going to give you an edge over other applicants who don't have that. Figuring out how it is that we learn, why our brains work the way they do, what it is that engages people. I think those are good things to know and understand anyway, whether you decide to go into teaching or not. And I have always loved teaching. I loved it 11 years ago when I started, and I still love it now. And I would really like to get other people invested in wanting to teach also. My kids have a teacher right now in elementary school that they love and they're excited about, and she does these things that I can tell that they're learning, but they don't always even realize that they're being taught or that they're learning. And I want to really try to encourage people who want to go into education to see, here's what good teaching looks like, and to build those skills. This is where our kids spend 12 years of their life. We need to have some of the best people out there who are working with those kids.
Hi, I'm Georgia Snyder. I'm currently a sophomore here at Henry County High School, and for the education pathway, I have only taken the first class, which is 103, and it was a really nice experience. The reason why I chose to go into this pathway is because my family, all the women in my family are teachers or work at boards of education, and I think it's just a really cool thing to interact with students and be able to have an impact in someone else's life. Probably the thing I've enjoyed most about this pathway is being able to go out and actually interact with the students and actually get to be hands-on with the curriculum we're learning rather than just reading out of a book or doing it online. Like, for example, we went to Newcastle and we were in small groups and met with kids kindergarten through 4th grade, and we did math games with all of them where we were able to teach and explain those lessons that they were learning to them. Another time we went to the library with kindergartners and read them books and did lessons about digital citizenship. I think the only challenging thing was writing a paper, but that comes with every class you take. I certainly do think I will use the skills I've learned in this classroom. It helps with your community speaking and being able to be comfortable in a classroom setting, not only a classroom setting, but to be able to talk to other people who maybe aren't on the same level that you are, or who need a little help understanding more about a topic or what they want to do. For advice coming into this pathway, I would say, don't think that it's going to be a bunch of paperwork and a bunch of reading and writing, because it's going to be more rewarding to see how you're impacting kids rather than just sitting in a room.
My name is Lindsay Davey and I teach agriculture. I have 3 pathways and I've taught here for 15 years. So my classes are all super different. I have 7 different classes that I teach. Principles of Ag is the intro that all of my students would take, and then they could advance on to Ag Power Construction. If they're interested in animals, they could progress into animal science or advanced animal science. And then the 3rd pathway is horticulture, and we have landscaping and greenhouse. And in greenhouse, the students actually run the greenhouse, but it's also an industry certification class. So we have some intense classwork we do at the beginning and kind of throughout the semester as well. So each one of my pathways has a certification. In the horticulture pathway, you can get a plant science certification. In the animal pathway, you get an animal science certification. And then Ag Power and Construction, you get a certification working on 4-stroke motors. We are different from all the other pathways. Whenever agriculture was established as a class in 1917, they decided that kids needed to have projects that related to class, and so SAEs were started. So all my students have SAEs, and they are just projects that help them prepare for a career. They can get a job somewhere, they can be creative and make things, they can start their own business. Like, there's tons of different things that they could do, and we've had some really cool projects over the years. And then in 1928, they added the 3rd circle, which was FFA. So we have a really active FFA chapter. We do lots of different activities and events in the community, and we do leadership activities, and there's something for everybody to get involved in FFA. Agriculture pathway, and again, you can be involved in FFA, and we have a lot of opportunities there. I'm always trying to come up with field trips for the classes, and this year, we're going to Costa Rica and Panama. We've got that trip planned, and that's something that I would like to continue to do. So we will give you so many opportunities and so many chances to get involved in the school and in the community.
Hi, my name is Meg Golden, and I am the president of the Henry County FFA chapter. I've been in ag classes since sophomore year, so I've been in ag classes for 3 years now, and they have been so fun. I have enjoyed so much about this ag pathway. I've learned so much about our farmers and what they do to produce commodities for our county and our state. Definitely choose this class again freshman year because it has helped me open up and grow, to meet new people and travel to different places. We went to Indiana as an FFA officer group last year, and it was so fun. I met people from all 50 states and including Puerto Rico. Some of my favorite things about ag are all the events that we do and participate in. One of my absolute favorite, and I know can be your favorite too, is Animals for Learning. So that's whenever we bring in animals and teach about them to 7th graders and anybody that wants to know just something new that they might not know. You can find out so much more about us on Instagram and Facebook at Henry County FFA.
I am Sarah Palmer. I teach the health science pathway. This is my 5th year teaching. I worked as a nurse for 6 years, and then this opened up and I had no clue how to teach. I had never had any teaching background, and then ever since I've been here, I love it. I enjoy it, watching all the students learn, get enthusiastic about all of the skills that they can learn, and then their future career. The first class in the pathway is Principles of Health. That is a dual credit class. The next class in the pathway is Medical Terminology, which is another dual credit. And then Emergency Procedures, that's where they get their CPR certification. And next year we are teaching a new class. It's called Allied Health Core Skills. So that'll be the first year that class is taught. And then I offer Medical Math. And then the last class is that CNA. That's like the capstone class. So the first few classes in my pathway, it's mainly like bookwork. Principles of Health is the first class they take. It is a dual credit class, so they do get college credit for it. And then once they get into medical terminology, it gets more hands-on. And then after that, they do emergency procedures, and that's more hands-on. They learn how to use an EpiPen, how to do CPR. They actually get CPR certified. And then we offer the CNA class, and that is the class that they can get their certification so that they can hopefully go work as a CNA. Some of the projects we do, we like to do a lot of projects, especially in this class, the Principles of Health class. Once we get into microorganisms and infection control, I give each of them a classification of a microorganisms, and usually they make like a cake that's shaped like as a virus or a bacteria, and we all share it and explain the different parts to that microorganism, and then that day we just get to have fun and eat the cakes and cupcakes and stuff like that. The whole goal of these classes are to get a health science career. That might not be just nursing, but there's lots of different pathways such as physical therapy, maybe medical, dentistry even. Some of these classes will help out with that. The end goal is they can get their CNA, so their Certified Nursing Assistant license. So that's a full year class. That's usually like the upper level class. A lot of juniors take it because their senior year when they co-op, they can go and work at a nursing home or a hospital and actually work as a CNA. And then in March, we've already got it scheduled for next March. They're going to go take their state boards, and hopefully they all pass, and then they can be certified nursing assistants.
Hi, I'm McKenna Lyons, and I'm a senior here at Henry County High School, and I've taken all of the health science classes. I definitely enjoyed the atmosphere that comes with these classes and the friendships that you'll make, including the teacher, Miss Palmer. She's wonderful. Something that's challenging in this class is definitely having to be self-motivated and willing to work hard, because the class comes with a lot of work, especially if you take the CNA class, but it's definitely worth it in the end. I will most definitely use these skills in the future. While I'm not going into career in nursing, I am going into occupational therapy, so I'll use some of the skills I've learned. I would most definitely choose this pathway again if I went back to my freshman year, because it offers a lot more than most of the pathways, and it's very easy but well worth it. My best advice is just to work hard and be self-motivated, because you'll have so many opportunities after you finish all the classes, and it's worth it.
Okay, I'm Major Beverly Mock, and I'm the JROTC instructor here at Henry County High School. So in JROTC, we teach leadership and self-discipline, and that's the main fundamentals of our core. We put students in uniform. We base everything on the military standards and Air Force. But we're not recruiting for the military, and that's a misconception for a lot of people. We're not recruiting, but those are the principles that we base our classes on. JROTC is a little bit different. We have our uniform wear on Thursdays, and so we give all those uniforms out and teach them how to wear them, and then we do inspections, and everything that is done in JROTC is student-led. So we say that in that we teach them how to do it, and then we expect them to lead the classes. So on Thursdays, I said we have uniform wear. On Fridays, we do PT, which is our physical education. And again, we base everything that we do on self-discipline and responsibility. And we have our 3 cores: integrity first, service before self, and excellence in all we do. So those are what most people think of as JROTC. But then we also have leadership development classes, like we teach drill, we teach marksmanship, classroom classes like you would normally see as in aerospace science and leadership education. And so those are typical classes where we talk about different subjects having to do with the science of flight or flying, because we are Air Force based in our class. And then the leadership can go into things like life skills, with the fitness, and we'll do classes on leadership and followership and subjects like that. Our core, if you talk to the students, they all often say that we're a family, and it's very much like that because we have, like I said, we have our after school events, which are really the most fun things that the kids enjoy doing. We have drill. We do color guards for most of the sporting events, and we do community service, so we're out around the community giving back. We're building citizens of character. Most of our students do not go into the military, but we are preparing students for the workforce. We're preparing them to be good citizens. Giving back to students and teaching them some of these core values it's something that I really enjoy doing. We are teaching students to be able to be productive citizens. So giving back to the community, excellence, how to do something to the best of their ability. Everything is very hands-on in JROTC. Just today, we went out to the elementary school and taught. We had students from the high school go out and teach the elementary school students how to raise and lower the flag each day before and after school. And that may be a little thing, but that's pretty huge that they were able to go out and do that.
Hello, I am Justin Crawford. I'm in JROTC. I'm a senior this year. This is my 4th year in the class. I would for sure choose this pathway. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. It's changed me a lot. Become more respectful, and I know how to answer people better. And my plan was to join the military. We'll figure it out. Oh, you should start freshman year. I mean, you have to have that 3 years anyway to help you if you were joining the military. But it's just, every year has been a different experience with different leaders. Yeah, I mean, I would recommend it for anyone. I mean, everybody else doesn't think so, but I love it. I've learned how to, I've used everything I've gotten here, and went to a job interview and aced the interview. It just taught me how to be really respectful. I've learned a lot of aviation stuff too, but man, the respectfulness.